Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing great today. I really appreciate you tuning in because today's topic is going to be a deep dive into something that just happened in the internet computer ecosystem. And trust me, it's way more than just about poker or a single proposal getting rejected. It's really about how this ecosystem is evolving, how governance works, how risk is handled, and what that tells us about where internet computer might be heading in the long run. So grab your coffee, settle in, because I'm going to walk you through exactly what happened with ZK Poker and their attempt to launch a decentralized gaming DAO, why the community voted it down, what their concerns were, what that signals to everyone who's interested in this blockchain, and of course, what I personally think about all of this. By the end, I hope you'll have a much clearer view of not just the headlines, but also the bigger picture and why it matters. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research and consult a professional before making any investment decisions. So let's start at the beginning for anyone who's hearing about ZK Poker for the first time. ZK Poker is a project that wants to build fair, decentralized poker and other betting games on the internet, computer blockchain. They use things like on-chain randomness so you can't mess with the cards, instant crypto payouts so people get their winnings right away, and simple signups that don't make you jump through a million hoops. On paper, it sounds really interesting, especially for folks who care about fairness in online gaming. But here's the thing. ZK Poker wanted to take this a step further by launching a ZK Games DAO through what's called an SNS, or Service Nervous System. That's basically a way for a community to run and govern a project on internet computer, kind of like how DAOs work on other chains. So they submitted this whole proposal to the Internet Computer's governance system, which if you're new is called the NNS, or Network Nervous System. This is the community-run decision-making part of the ecosystem. Anyone with voting power, which is basically people holding ICP and staking it in neurons, can vote on what gets funded, what doesn't, what changes happen on the network, and so on. Now, what did ZK Poker's team actually want? In a nutshell, they wanted to set up a fully on-chain gaming platform under a DAO structure. They already have two main poker products, ZK Poker and Pure Poker, that claim to be 100% on-chain and provably fair. Their plan was to expand this to include other games like chess, mahjong, maybe more down the road, all governed by this DAO. They plan to issue a governance and utility token with a total supply of 1 billion tokens to help manage operations, incentivize the community, fund development, and keep things running. They even had plans for a stablecoin that would be pegged to the SNS token. So you can see, it was a pretty ambitious vision. Not just poker, but an entire ecosystem of decentralized, community-governed online betting. But here's where things got interesting. When they put this up for a vote on the NNS, the internet computer community, along with big neurons like the Definity Foundation and other major stakeholders, overwhelmingly rejected it. About 66% voted no, around 26% didn't even cast a vote, and only about 6% said yes. If you look at the voting power, that's even more telling, roughly 30 million ICP in favor versus more than 300 million ICP against. That's not a small gap. That's the community sending a loud and clear message that they didn't like this proposal in its current form. Now, the obvious question is, why did so many people vote against it? On the surface, you'd think a fair, decentralized poker platform would fit the ethos of blockchain pretty well. Open, transparent, no cheating, instant payouts. But the reality is more complicated. When you dig into the reasons, it basically boils down to three big concerns. 1. Compliance and legal risks. Online gambling is one of the most heavily regulated industries in the world. When you mix that with crypto, it can get even more complicated. Many voters were worried that approving this could expose the internet computer to unnecessary legal headaches or make it look like a gambling chain. 2. Team transparency and independence. There were also questions about who exactly is behind ZK Poker. Some of the major neurons wanted the team to dox themselves, meaning reveal their real identities, so there'd be accountability. The team said they were willing to do this, but apparently it wasn't enough to calm all the concerns. 3. Security and audit costs. Another issue was the lack of a full-fledged security audit. In the crypto world, security audits are expensive but crucial, especially for platforms that handle people's money. The ZK Poker team admitted they didn't have the funds yet for a top-level audit, but were hoping to get at least a partial review. Many voters felt that wasn't good enough, given the risks. In my view, this entire episode actually shows that the Internet Computer's governance model is working exactly as it should. You have this open, community-driven system where anyone can submit a proposal, and if the community doesn't think it's ready or safe, they have every right to say no. Compare that to how centralized blockchains or Web 2 companies work, where a small team at the top might just push things through without much debate. Here, the community literally holds the keys, or in this case, the neurons, and they use their collective voting power to shape what's allowed to happen on-chain. This is what makes Internet Computer special. It's not just about fancy tech like chain key cryptography or hosting AI on-chain. It's also about having a community that wants to protect the ecosystem's reputation and security, even if that means saying no to projects that might bring short-term hype but long-term risk. So what do I think about this personally? Well, honestly, I see both sides. On the one hand, I believe ZK Poker's vision is pretty cool. Trustless, fair, on-chain poker sounds exactly like the kind of thing that blockchain was made for. But on the other hand, I completely get why people are hesitant. The Internet Computer is still in an early phase of proving itself as a platform for high-value, low-risk use cases like AI, secure computing, and cross-chain interoperability. It's still fighting old baggage from its early launch days when the token price got hammered and people lost trust. For many long-term holders and developers, the focus should probably stay on scaling these high-performance capabilities rather than becoming known as the blockchain for online gambling, at least for now. Plus, with regulators around the world cracking down on crypto gambling, launching something like this without proper legal structure, licensing, or clear security could open a can of worms for everyone involved. Speaking of numbers, let's zoom out for a sec. The Internet Computer's market cap is sitting around $3 to $4 billion these days. Back in the day, ICP launched at $133, pumped all the way to $800 at one point, and then came crashing back down. Some early investors are still holding big bags from that time. So when you see proposals come up, especially ones that could be risky, it makes sense that the people who've been around since day one want to protect the network's reputation and future growth. They're already bruised from the past. They don't want more potential missteps to hurt them again. Another thing worth noting is how focused Internet Computer is on big-picture tech. Look at their roadmap. You'll see they're working on things like advanced AI, cross-chain functionality, and hosting complex apps fully on-chain. That's huge. They've even got something called chain fusion, which lets other blockchains tap into Internet Computer's compute capabilities. And they're still pushing forward on things like native stablecoins, chain key signatures for Bitcoin DeFi, and more. So when you stack that up against launching an online poker DAO, you can see why people felt it didn't quite fit the vibe right now. Now, to be fair to the ZK Poker team, they're not giving up. They said they're going to keep working with the Definity team and the community to address these concerns. Maybe they'll get that full audit done. Maybe they'll fully dox the team and clarify syndication structures and independence. If they come back with a more robust, transparent plan, who knows? They might win enough votes next time. This is how governance works. It's iterative. Just because you get rejected once doesn't mean it's game over. It just means you need to tighten up your pitch, your security, and your compliance strategy. So here's my big takeaway from all this. What just happened with ZK Poker isn't just about poker or gambling. It's a sign that the Internet Computer community is maturing. People care about credibility, about security, about avoiding regulatory gray zones. They want to build an ecosystem that attracts serious developers, high-quality projects, and institutional players, not just fast money from risky ventures. That's actually really reassuring if you're bullish on ICP for the long run. It means the community has its eyes open. It means we're not just throwing governance tokens around for hype. It means people are asking hard questions. And that's exactly what any decentralized network needs if it wants to last. All right, that's my deep dive for today. But I want to hear from you now. Do you think the community made the right call by rejecting the ZK poker proposal? Or do you think they should have given it a chance to prove itself? Do you think the internet computer should focus more on big tech use cases like AI and cross-chain computing? Or is there room for decentralized gambling too? So, what do you think about ICP's current position? Are you bullish on its growth in AI and DeFi? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found value in this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Thanks for watching. Stay curious, stay cautious, and I'll catch you in the next one.